Or we could take you around to some of my favourite places here in my city of Sydney. City that I love. I love the architecture, the climate, I love the majesty of the South Pacific. I love its ego and narcissism, backwardness, as much as it frustrates me for the same reasons. I love just a sense of home. I love everything.
Sa plan boom wah 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 sa plan boom wah. Got that $2 here. I got my swords. This one here is a more sort of European medieval number. I was doing some live modelling. It was an absolute pleasure to do that. In fact, I was moved to tears while live modelling. I bought this weave recently. It's gorgeous. Looks like a sort of French or Germanic village in the wintertime. A sort of Michelangelo David pose. I have here my Memento Mori calendar. Not sure if you've seen one of these before. This one's a sort of Civil War era blade. Oh, this is nice. Next to the bed here, this beautiful piece here is one of my favourites in my home. Picture of my father's band, the Radiators. I like the framing, how his legs are cut off down here and there's all this sort of dead air up the top. And here I am in sort of a captain's thing and otherwise naked. Each black square represents a week of my life. And every Tuesday, I was born on a Tuesday, I fill in another little black square, reminding me that I'm 1 week closer to death. Got a few more sort of pieces here. There's this one as well. I had a sort of tea towel on my head. And there's this beautiful family here. Looks like they had kids later in life, this couple, but good on them. Dave Oman? That's a good name, Dave Oman. Dave Jamon, French for ham. They're all really rusty. We got Michael and Bubbles here, King of Pop and his pet monkey. I can put any picture I want up in my own home. Can't tell me what to hang up on my living room wall. Have a little cafe that we like to go to around the corner. Thought it'd be nice for lunch. I'm ravenous. It's the beautiful neighbourhood of Paddington. Look at this architecture. I think we can all agree that Sydney's architecture is probably the 5th or 6th most beautiful in the world. There's a lot of native fruits. This one here you can see has fallen from the tree above. Look at this. There's a little gallery just here. It has some of the worst art I've seen in the neighbourhood. Again, just stop and marvel at the architecture. 5th or 6th most beautiful architecture on the planet. Maybe the 7th. There's a shop over here called Yogi Beings. But then they seem to sell wooden ducks. My friend Steve lives in this house. And this here is my local cafe. It's called Omeo. It's a Greek cafe. I think Omeo in Greek means to remain the same or similar. I'm not sure why they called the cafe that. How you doing, Harry?
What's happening here, Kirin?
Making a little sort of guided tour of my favourite places in Sydney. This is
the first ones, obviously.
we are. This is literally the first place. This is Harry here. He's going to look after us.
Give me a second.
Where do we begin? Originally a bedpan that now makes a fine salad bowl for my octopus orangetti. I had a vision of a interdimensional beast, white chalk all over its face, no nose, big mouth, 2 little eyes, bald head, blood all around its mouth, and it was feasting on flesh. I felt its presence and its malevolence, and ever since then, that was almost 2 weeks ago, I've had awful diarrhea. That's fantastic. Very affordable, actually. I think ego's misunderstood. Everything in moderation, or not. Let it fucking soar. Billy's good. He's got it in check. Ewan's out of control. You've seen me cry before.
Many times.
Yeah. You know, even just going to the gym, pumping iron, often I'd cry. You devoured that sandwich, Ewan. So, yep, my local cafe, a Mayo, artisanal deli. It's very fancy, you know, bourgeoisie, just the way I like it. Right now we're going to my favourite casual fine dining and place for an afternoon drink, Bar 83 on the 83rd level of Centrepoint Tower, to the heart of the city. I think we're just going to go straight down Oxford Street, which is the gayest street in Sydney. Underage coming out here, 17 years old, going to shows, down Spectrum and hanging out at Cuba. Spectrum is where my first band sort of met and formed, Mercy Arms. And also the Valentinos. And speaking of which, in there with the peroxided hair is Pat Santamaria. He was the original bass player of the Valentinos. A very dear friend of mine. I think we should go say hello. Yoo-hoo! This is Pat Santamaria.
Cheers.
I'm giving these guys a tour of my favourite places in Sydney.
Is this your Sydney? Is this the first place you came to?
No.
You've got two fucking things on the menu.
I know. There's a burger restaurant in Bondi that Pat's referring to, Bondi Tony's, that does the Los Valentinos burger.
Yeah. How do you feel about it being a fish burger?
I think it's probably the more environmentally conscious.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say it was backhanded, but like, I would have preferred a beef burger.
I mean, that says more about you, I think, than anything else.
Yeah, probably. And also, we had a cocktail named after us at establishment. It was a mocktail.
Oh.
Yeah. It's so into something, you get a fucking fish burger and a mocktail.
I gotta go. In and out. Love ya. Okay, let's go. I thought we'd just get one quick drink down here, huh? Now, next up is a bar called Shady Pines. I've only been here once before. It's the next one. See, there you go. I wasn't lying. I don't know where this place is. So it's down here, isn't it? Do you guys know the place? After you. How you doing?
Not too bad, sir.
Phenomenal. I dated a Dutch girl. She invited me to Capri in the south of Italy for a romantic getaway. She booked the whole thing, organised the whole thing. She'd left a night early. The next morning, I was saying goodbye to all the people that I'd sort of become friends with at the hotel, and this person came chasing me out and said, Kirin, in broken English, you need to pay for the bill. Like, she hadn't paid for it. She'd booked this whole trip, and I got hit with like a €2,000 bill. I got taken for a ride. I had a great time. My father used to always say, there's only two things in the world he can't tolerate. Racism, you know, bigotry, xenophobia, any intolerance of any sort. And the second thing is the Dutch. Should have listened to my old man. Truth is, my father never said this. It was from Austin Powers. And next up, Bar 83 in the style of Austin Powers.
Located on level 3 of Sydney Tower, 83 floors above the city CBD, Bar 83 is Sydney's highest bar.
Going to get high.
Enjoy bold specialty cocktails and bar food with a 260-degree view of Sydney's glittering cityscape.
Bar 83, good afternoon, Mandy speaking.
Hi, Mandy. This is Kirin speaking. I'm wondering, is it possible, do you guys have room for a group of 6 shortly?
You mean now?
Yeah, pretty much now.
6 people, let me see, today is 4:45. Yeah, I can have a 5 o'clock.
Yep, that's great. It's a great song, Tommy Leonetti. My city of Sydney, I miss the warmth of you. I miss the heart of your people, that little church steeple in Woolloomooloo. My city of Sydney, I miss your glow at dawn. I might have taken some artistic license with the lyrics there, but it's something like that. It's a beautiful song. I mean, check out this sunset, huh? Look at those beautiful women, older women. Sydney FC. Look at that glowing in the Sydney sunset. Sort of my one criticism of Bar 83 is the music's pretty wacky or downright abhorrent. What's this one? That's Tame Impala. There you go. So now I quite like this view here. Get a little shot down there Get a scale of how high we are. We've got the flight path, we've got Botany Bay down there. Look at how close Botany Bay is. Isn't that bizarre? How close that is. Can't believe that. Ooh. Well, let's look west first. Is that Parramatta there or is it down there? And look at those high rises far in the distance there. Is that Parramatta? Nobody knows where Parramatta is. That's too far. Hang on, let's follow Parramatta Road. Where would we go? Yeah, it's got to be the river. I always loved going over the Anzac Bridge as a child, coming from the west where I grew up, coming towards the city. You get this great view of the city with the sun behind it in the morning. Anyway, we'll go to the north here. We'll get a beautiful view of, look at that. It's really Chatswood there, the glory of Chatswood. It's making a late play. And St Leonard's too. Let's not forget St Leonard's really booming up over here. Spectacular stuff. Let's come around to the eastern front. I mean, you got to get the Harbour Bridge over here. How you guys doing?
Well, how are you?
Excellent, phenomenal. Look at this, beautiful St Mary's Cathedral, the House of God. House of God, right here in Sydney, Australia. King's Cross, former red light district, now turned into sort of gyms and I think there's a KFC there now maybe. But once a very interesting place. A few remnants remain, admittedly. Where I first moved out of home to 18 years old, straight to the cross. Got my first ever tattoo, KX for King's Cross. Myself, my girlfriend at the time, and a young lesbian couple got the KX tattoos. We were inseparable. Some few islands here. Look at Shark Island. That's the first one, I think, Shark Islands. Not sure of the second one. I've always wanted to canoe out to those islands. Maybe tomorrow. In fact, there's a bunch of interesting islands in Sydney Harbour. If you're interested in them, go find out, yeah? Go find out for yourself. Centrepoint Tower, my name's Kirin. Thank you very much for coming with me. Watch yourself, some tiny little burgers are coming out. I have a unconditional love for Sydney, even when it breaks my heart. But like any significant relationship, that is bound to happen more than a few times. And it's a very beautiful city. It's easy to fall in love with. You know, admittedly, I love Sydney for its beauty. Sydney loves Sydney for its beauty too, and there's nothing wrong with that. Man, I feel like a woman. Yeah, I've lived overseas for years, only came back to Sydney last year. I feel like I'm flooded with vague, hazy memories from my life. Speaking of memories, here's the Downing Centre, where I had my day in court.